Welcome to day 2374 of What You Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. My initials, that's the title of this segment. But it's my way to document the journey as I originally transitioned from the brick and mortar corporate world of businesses to the online world of business. And now I talk about every day I do an annual challenge. It's our 7th year doing an annual challenge, meaning we are doing one thing every day to get something that we want. We did a happiness challenge, a love challenge, a do one thing every day that scares you challenge, a goals challenge. All last year was all about doing one thing every day to get our goals. This year is the Let's Grow annual challenge. We're doing one thing every day to grow. So we're going through our financial growing process. We created our own process the first month of the year as part of the challenge, and now we're carrying that through for the different areas and aspects of a life framework that I've used for decades, with the exception of 2 segments of that. It used to be a 7-part life framework. Now it's a 9-part life framework, because following the pandemic, the crazy year of 2020, and all the stuff, I'm just going to call it stuff, that happened that year, I decided there was a couple areas I wanted to get beef up in my own personal life and my own ability to deal with challenges and changes and craziness that happens. So I joined a coaching program that worked on core skills, communication being one of them, which I'm tripping all over my tongue today, so that makes me kind of laugh. And confidence were the 2 core skills I pulled out of that training and my experiences to add to my life framework. So now I set goals for those areas every year. And as part of the challenge last year and the year before, last year, I don't remember the year before if we used my life framework or not, but last year and this year for sure, I've been incorporating the life framework that I use, because I'm like, if I'm going to share what I do, which is an annual challenge every year, why would I not share what I actually do and what has helped me to get what I want and to create the life I want most effectively? It's when I don't follow this, it's when I haven't been doing what I know is good for me and I need to do to make my life work, that those are the times that I've hit more roadblocks or obstacles or struggled. So I'm finding, just get back to what you know works for you, do more of that and continue to grow from there. Don't get sidetracked with, they call it shiny object syndrome, which I never knew anything about shiny object syndrome until I came online. I guess because there are so many things vying for our attention, it's easy to get sucked in and sidetracked on things that seem interesting and we're curious about them at the time, but they lead us down a road that actually gets us off track in terms of what it is that we're actually doing and wanting to create in the world. So thinking about that today, I think that rather often, actually, especially when I notice that I am getting sidetracked with something. For Supersize Your Business today, we talked about sustainable businesses in general, not just about a specific business. I've been kind of trying to pull in some examples of specific industries and businesses as I've been sharing different business strategies this year. I got tired of doing idioms. I think for 5 years, I did an idiom every day. And I started doing it when I was moving because I wanted an easy way to come up with a content idea for that group. And I was like, okay, after 5 years, there were a couple of times during that period that I got a little burnt out on it, but I understand the power from a communication standpoint of knowing what things mean to ourselves and what they could mean to other people, and how communication is so paramount in us understanding and actually relating to one another as human beings. And all of our life is built on relationships, right? Relationship with ourselves, relationship with others, relationship with people in our work, business, social lives, etc. And communication is a part of that. So today, for the annual challenge, we're talking about the financial growth growing process, which is right above my head. And we're on step 5, which is to inquire, to ask questions. We're coming up with 3 questions that we want to ask ourselves about financial growth, about our financial growth, specifically about the goal we're working on right now. But I like to create questions that I can use in the long term that are in my little toolbox of things that will help me to grow as I move forward. So financially, questions like, my favorite primary question right now is, what am I creating now? And I can ask that about anything in any situation. Sometimes I forget and I slip back into my WTF question. I try not to do that because, especially on presidential election years, it's really challenging. I don't know why, but that's one of those shiny objects holes I get sucked into sometimes. And I know it's ridiculous and it's a waste of my time and energy, but I have this really deep core sense of we should always do the right thing and treat people the way we want to be treated. And I I'm always surprised and shocked at how awful and heinous some people's behavior can be, especially through things like social media, which is mind-boggling to me, and emails and things. People will say things in emails, and I don't know if that's human nature or not, because it's definitely not my human nature, through things where they feel like they've got a level of protection. Guess what? Social media platforms are not a level of protection. Email is not a level of protection. People can find you and hold you accountable for the things you do and say and how you behave. And we're all responsible for the things we do and say and how we behave. And sometimes I'll catch myself typing something and I'll be like, why am I even engaging in this? And I'll delete it and go about my day and focus on the things that really matter in my life. All right. I guess that was a confession right there. Sometimes I get carried away on social media. All right. If I can help you, ask, inquire. Have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.